Hey, hello everybody. How are you all doing out there? I think we're live. Look, it's flipping dark outside already now. The summer's coming to an end. What a bummer. I wish it was summer all year round. In fact, I've been wearing shorts this summer. By the way, if any of you out there can remember the summer of 1976, the proper good heat wave back then, well, this summer more than tops it. So I'm loving it. Unfortunately, winter's in the post, so the shorts are going to have to come off. And I'm so used to wearing the shorts now, I don't want to put. I put a pair of jeans on today, went to work, and it was still quite warm. And by the afternoon, they were sticking to my bloody arse, and I wish I brought the shorts with me. Anyway, let's get the hell on with the show. Who have we got? Chris Jones. Hello, Chris. How are you doing? 167,000 miles. Is that how far you've walked to get here? Or is that how much your car has done? Anyway, who's next? Mexish Humour. I hope I said that right. Looking forward. Well, fantastic. I'm going to keep this probably about an hour, just over an hour tonight, if possible. I don't think I can bear the 3-hour ones we done when we first started doing these. But yeah, it's been a while since I put a live stream out, so I thought I'd better do one tonight. Goldberg versus Benoit. Hello, how are you doing? I shall read a few of these comments, and then I'll tell you what's going on at work and this, that, and the third. So, hi, Alan. I don't know if you will see this. Funny that, because I'm reading it right now. But you are a great mechanic. You always explain everything in great detail on your videos for repairs, and you are a gentleman. Hang on a minute. Well, thank you very much, Goldberg. Who is Benoit? It's a bit like Roe v. Wade. That's what brings to mind. I can put the comments on the screen. I normally forget to do that. I would trust you with my cars for repairs, like, for example, the spark plug video on Monica's car. You took your time to get the plug out rather than snapping it like an amateur. I'll tell you something there. That comes with experience. A lot of people, I've seen so many people snap spark plugs and nuts and bolts. They'll just go for it and it will just break. And a lot of the time, well, when I'm doing stuff like that, I'm thinking to myself, if I just go for it and I break a stud or a bolt or a spark plug, it's going to cause me a ton of work. So I go on the assumption now that if it snaps, if I can snap it and it's not going to cause me any problems, I'll just snap it and deal with it. But if it's going to cause me problems, I will take my time because there's nothing worse than making the job 10 times worse. And over time, well, a lot of mechanics out there who would agree with this, you know how tight to do things up. You know when you're undoing a bolt, you know how far you can go before it breaks. So you back off and you use more freeing oil, more time. If you've got time to undo nuts and bolts and save yourself a bigger headache in the long run, then take your time. That's what it basically comes down to. Customer in the car. I think you are someone that would own up to their mistakes. Sometimes. And learn from them. Also, loved your drone footage too, and I hope you get a nice new car soon to replace your rust. Yeah, I haven't got a car yet, but you see, my mate, Bill Gates, the globalist. No, it's not Bill Gates, is it? It's that other bloody fat bloody twat, the one at Davos, says you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Well, I don't own a car now, So I'm halfway there. Isn't it a bummer, isn't it? But they're trying to stop cars. They're trying to, oh, in such and such a year, we're not going to make no more cars. We want to ban cars. They're bad. They're not pushing our green agenda. Anyway, let me get away from politics for a minute. Well, thank you very much, Goldberg. I loved your comment. I shall try and get through some of this tonight if I can, because there seems to be quite a lot of comments here, and if I start waffling on about this, that, and the other, we're going to get nowhere. Camille, I won't even try and say your surname. Chokra, Camille Chokra, Chokra. Did you find out what is the cause of rising oil in engine in one of your Mondeo? Funny you should mention that. That car, that problem is on my mind, and it's still in progress. I don't want to say too much about it at the minute, because I fully intend to make a full-blown Jackanory story about it when it's done. But I can tell you now that it was just yesterday that I had another ECU fitted to that car. I got an identical ECU off eBay with the same part numbers, and I had our TC Harrison Ford dealership program that ECU in. I'm trying it, but when I'm doing like one thing at a time, because this is absolutely baffling. But once it's fixed, and I'm hoping maybe this ECU will fix it. If this ECU doesn't fix the problem, then really I'm limited down to a few more bits and pieces, and then that's it. So I think I'm getting close. But as soon as that's nailed, I will be making a full video on it, because this is the only car, you know, like Mazda 5s, they are they are designed so that the oil level will rise. And if you look on the dipstick, if you change the oil and filter, the level will be so high. And then over time, when the level gets to a certain height, you're supposed to change the oil and filter again, because they're designed to do that. But the Mark 5 Mondeos aren't. So this is the only Mark 5 Mondeo 2-litre diesel that has this problem. And it's been an ongoing problem. So I've got to get to the bottom of it, because I really want to know what's wrong. So when I have got to the bottom of it, you will all know about it. I visited today one of the electro mechanic, and he told me that the DPF can be an issue even if it's maintained on low level of load. It can be on constant regen because of ash in DPF. Can you relate with it? It's possible, but on the car that I've got the problem with, I have done a regen on it, because it did have codes in it to do with soot accumulation, although it didn't go into limp mode. So I done a regen, and I got the DPF down to nearly 0. So it was clean. As far as I'm concerned, it was clean. So we let the car go out again, and within a couple of weeks, it's back again with the oil level risen again. So I don't think it's actually soot accumulation that's causing it. There's something else going on here, but I'm trying to sort it. Oh, Carl Hines, how are you doing, Carl? Oh, how are you? I'm good. I'm doing all right, thank you. I've got a Mark 4.5 2-litre diesel, chip tuned. Was driving flat out on the Autobahn, and after 5 minutes I got a 0094 fuel system leak, small leak, cleared it and never came back. That would be, it normally says fuel system small leak, and then there'll be another code for large leak. That will probably put it into limp mode. That's just an injector leaking off too much. That's all it is. one of your diesel injectors is leaking off too much. So that'll probably be the start of something. You'll probably find that code may well come back in time. It might not. It might just be the fact that you were thrashing it. But if it were me, well, I probably wouldn't do nothing about it until it done it again. But if it does it again, carry out a fuel injector leak off test, and you may find yourself having to change one of the diesel injectors. And last question, what is your opinion about shutting down EGR valve by software? Is it better for engine or DPF to do it? We all know that EGR sometimes give a lot of problems. I don't know about the Mark 5 Mondeo, whether you can remove the software for that EGR. I've never tried. We just change them. But I should think in other cases, if you can get rid of the EGR, because the EGR is there for emission purposes. So I mean, and they seem to cause more problems than good. So if you've got rid of it and it's not causing excessive smoke coming out the exhaust, then I wouldn't worry about it. It's not going to do your car no harm. It's going to kick out more emissions. It might not pass an emission test if it's blanked off or all the software's gone for it. So I don't know really. I'm not really that up with it, but I know sometimes you can erase certain softwares on cars when you've got problems, and just to get around the problem, if you know what I mean. So, but I've had EGRs. I've seen loads of them in the past blanked off, and the cars run perfectly fine, and they have less problems now. Without an EGR, that's one thing less to go wrong. And remember, the cars of old, they never used to have EGR valves. It's all to do with the emissions anyway. So if you get rid of it and your car's running fine, then good. So, Carl, hi Carl. Question on 2.2 litre diesel. Coolant level is low but stable. Oil is very high. Oil cap is clean but with particles on it. Oil is grey but no odours. I was thinking fuel. Sounds running fine. That seems a bit. When you say the oil is grey, seems a bit strange. If diesel fuel has got into your oil, it will rise. The oil level will rise, and it won't go grey. So if the coolant level is low, but if I was you, I'd give it an oil change. I'll tell you something. If you see grey oil, that would say to me it's full of metal. It's full of metal particles that could do that. But no, if it were me, I'd give it a good oil change, top your coolant up to the level, and run it and see how it goes. Seems a bit strange. John Fittis, hi John. I can. Scott, hi Scott. Can you do a video on a drive shaft repair? I have done one. I've done one on the Mondeo. I changed the inner joint bearings. So the trouble is there's so many bloody videos out there now. It's this flipping you've got to try and find them. It's probably the YouTube algorithms not bringing it up. Hi Sam, how are you doing? Yep, it's Wednesday night again. Andy, hi Andy. I was 7 in 76. I was in shorts for the whole summer. It's been a bloody fantastic summer. Do you know what? I've never known a summer like it. And it's like, love it. I just wish it was like this all year round. But we all know that the flipping cold is coming. it will be cold, won't it? If you can't afford your electric bills, that's the next thing, isn't it? The energy crisis that they've totally bloody forced on ourselves. Yeah, government policies pushing their green agenda. That's why we've got energy problems. But they want to blame it on Putin, don't they? Anyway, who's next? Marcus. Hi, Marcus. When you go into Campbell on a transit, do you know what? I would actually love to do one of them, but I don't fancy doing it in the van. If I had an engine out of the van, I would do it. But it's so flipping tight to work down there and get your camera in there and see what you're doing. That's what's holding me back. Plus, I haven't got a transit to do anyway at the minute. So, but if something does come along, transit related on Campbell side of things, I will do it, definitely. Matthew, hi Matthew. It's that time again. I should be doing one of these every week, but it's like some weeks I'm just like, I can't be bothered. I just go to sleep on the settee. Hello Mondeo, how are you? Keeping dry. I am. There was a time I would go down not the off license, down the Sainsbury's, because they had the better deals down there on a bottle of JD, and I'd get it was getting to like a bottle a week. So no, I haven't had a drink in bloody couple of years now. I only drink alcohol when it's given to me. Times are getting tougher. Yeah, you're flipping down right, they're getting tougher. You can blame the government for that one. The bloody idiots in that bloody number 10 ain't got a bloody clue what they're doing. I hope this Liz Truss does some good. We don't know what she's going to be like yet, but she can't be any worse than Boris Johnson. Jamie's Mondeo. Hello, Jamie. How you doing? Quick question. How much is it for a Miltech exhaust? Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. You probably have to look that one up. The video I done when I fitted that Miltech on that ST220 a few years back, I'm not sure if I come up with a price. I think I did. It's in one of them videos where I've done about 3 or 4 videos on the Mondeo, because we've done the subframe bushes, the clutch, we've done the exhaust, and a few other bits and pieces, I think. So if you check out my old videos, it will say, but no doubt the price of everything's gone up at the minute. So I should think the price of a Miltech exhaust has probably gone up considerably as well at the minute. But there again, I suppose if you go to their website, it'll give you an idea of what they cost. I know as far as these performance exhausts go, the sky can be the limit. Paul and Fiona, how are you doing? Travels, are you back from Spain yet? Hope you had a nice holiday. I am doing well, thank you very much. Apart from sitting on this flipping stool, it's a fly as well, it's uncomfortable. Anyway, nice to hear from you, Paul. Hi, Vivian, how are you? Nice to hear from you too. By the way, I've got to get hold of Kevin yet, but there's another show. You remember the first one, the TC Harrison one at Peterborough, Oxney Road? That is on a week Sunday, apparently. So not long to go, and that'll be right back to a whole year since we've done our first car show. But that TC Harrison one was a good one. I like that. Very good. So I'm hoping I'm going back to that one this year. I had the salesman the guy who does sells all the parts for TC Harrison come round today and tell me the show is on a week Sunday. So looking forward to that. Anyway, Vivian, thanks for dropping by. Sean Oliver, hi, how are you doing? Good evening to you as well. 163 CTX061. Vauxhall owner. Do you know what? My first car was a Vauxhall. It was a Vauxhall Viva. I'm not an expert on Vauxhalls, but from what I've seen of some Vauxhalls, I just think that the quality of the parts they use to build these cars has gone downhill. But what hasn't these days? Yeah, I can't really slate Vauxhalls too much because I don't work in them. But everyone, no matter how bad a car is, there is someone who will like a specific car. I remember when I think it was the Mark II or I think it was the Mark III Mondeo. No, it's probably the Mark I Mondeo. Mark 1, 2 and 3, they were up against the Vauxhall Vectra. It was like a 50-50, wasn't it? Sort of like a lot of people wanted the Vectra, a lot of people wanted the Mondeo. So they were the days. Anyway, nice to hear from you. Oh, Seed, how are you doing? How's life over there in Montenegro? Greetings to you as well. Paul, hi Paul. Still not found a mechanic, including Ford's Direct, that know exactly how the electric vacuum pump works on a 2-litre EcoBoost. The electric vacuum pump. What's that for? Vacuum pump to me says for your brake servo, which is, am I right there? I'm not quite sure what you mean there by electric vacuum pump. But if you do mean vacuum pump for your brake servo, that brings me to my next video, which I'm going to push out tomorrow. Brake vacuum pumps on the Mark V Mondeo. Although it's not on a 2-litre EcoBoost. It's on a Mark V Mondeo 2-litre diesel. So I'm going to put that video out tomorrow, but it's not going to help you none because it's not the one I'm doing is mechanical. It's not electric. But you'd have to let me know what you mean by electric vacuum pump. Who's next? Hi, Chris. 2003 Vectra just had the rear upper arms changed today. The rest of the suspension is original. Would a Mark III Mondeo do the same? 2003. Flipping heck. I don't know. I really don't know. I think they would. I mean, what we're talking about here? 2003 is the Mark would be the Mark III Mondeo. Yeah, we've got like 50, 60 of them up the garage. They're all rentals. All the Yanks rent them out. But do you know what? I know on the Vectras, I'm not sure about the Vectra. Yours must be a Vectra C, because it's the Vectra Bs that you had these bushes you had to change. You had to have a special tool and press them out, press the bushes out of the arm and press new ones in, because they used to give a lot of play in the rear hubs. But yeah, there's always a few cars out there that are original. It's nice to actually see a car that's been kept well, where most of them have gone to the scrapyard. Anyway, we're going to have to move on. Nice to hear from you, Chris, anyway. Historical Association White Stars. Flipping heck. How you doing? From Poland. Well, hello. My next door neighbours are Polish. Anyway, thank you for dropping by. Alexandru, hello. I'm from Romania. Blimey. Hello from Romania. I live in UK and I got a Ford Mondeo Mark IV 2-litre TDCi. I love your videos. Well, thank you very much. Keep watching them. Just let the ads run. Just let the ads run. That's all that matters. No, adverts are a bloody pain in the ass, especially when you're trying to watch something. Well, thank you very much, Alex, for stopping by and saying that. That's very, very kind of you. I try and put out, that's all I work on, you see, is Mondeos. So I haven't got a great deal more to talk about. Mind you, I have got something to talk about, which I've actually put in my video, which I'm going to put out tomorrow, but I'm going to say it again here. We had a taxi yesterday afternoon, 2-litre diesel, Mark 5. I didn't even know he was in the yard. I was in the garage, and all I heard was this flipping engine rev up like full flipping throttle. And I turned around, and all I saw was a massive, great big cloud of smoke. And then there was the taxi revving its nuts off with loads of black smoke and then brown smoke pouring out. And then the revs eventually died down. And I walked over to the car because I was kind of wondering what the hell is going on here. And the driver got out and he's like, I switched the key off, I switched it off. And he goes, but the engine carried on running. And at that point, the penny dropped. And I'm like, yeah, your turbo is gone. And yes, it had gone. Flip it. I'll show you this turbo in my video tomorrow with the impeller. The amount of play in it's unbelievable. But that's a first, because we have never, since 2015 till now, had a turbo take a dump like that. We've had turbos like leak fumes out of joints they shouldn't be and cause like smells in the car, which you've had to change the turbo. But I've never had one of these turbos actually obliterate itself. So this is the first time. But there again, it was on 295,000 miles. And I believe they say, well, the manufacturers, that turbos last approximately 150,000 miles. So all the ones on these taxis, and a lot of the taxis are done well over 200,000, getting on for 300, and some of them are getting on for 400,000. So the turbos are holding up pretty well, although it is a bit of a ball ache changing one because it's a bit of a big job. Anyway, thanks, Alex, for stopping by. Thanks for your comment. Hi, Mark. How are you? I saw a Mondeo a year ago on eBay, £1,400, only 400. Oh my God! Flipping heck! Who would pay that? Who the frig would pay that with that kind of miles on it? You know, they say it takes all kinds to make a world. I guess there is somebody out there that would actually buy that. Hi, Paul. What's for cooking tonight? Funny you should say that. Most nights I have salad. I have a different variation of salad. So that's all I've been buying. So when the warm weather's gone, I'll be back to the spaghetti bolognese and jacket potatoes and all that stuff. But I'm trying to eat better, if you know what I mean. And whenever the warm weather's here, I try to eat salad because I like a bit of salad in summer. So, but dinner's gone. I've had it. I was prepared tonight. Even the flipping kid has had his pizza, so he won't be coming down to ask me to cook a pizza halfway through this live stream. Hi, Tony. How much do you earn? Never enough. I can't give that information out. But put it this way, the wages aren't bad. They're pretty good. Put it this way, I live okay. I do all right. So I get by. I'm not scratching from pillar to post to find the next penny. Although I might be when the electric bill goes up again in October. No, things are okay for me, money-wise. So no problems there. Lee Charlotte, how are you doing? Glad to see you're keeping well. Your video on the Mark II Focus wet belt saved a car from a scrapyard scrap. That was a Mark II Focus wet belt. That was a, I don't think it's a Focus. It was a bloody, oh my God, it was a Mondeo. It cut that engine cut. I had that video I done where I changed the wet belt, or tried to show how to change it. I had to borrow that engine off somebody just to do that. Then I had to give the engine back. That's the length I had to go to. If I'd have done that years ago when we were actually doing them engines, it would have been out many years prior to when I did put it out. It's just that all them years ago, in 2008 and that 2010, I never had a camera. So, but I got it done. So we're glad it helped. So that has been my #1 video. That's the only video I've got with the most views on it. So it just shows a lot of people will watch that. So it was worth doing. I actually quite enjoyed making that one as well. But anyway, Lee, thanks for stopping by. Project Man, hello, how are you doing? Good evening to you as well. Matthew, hi Matthew. I have a Mondeo 08 TXS Estate and a 90 XR2i. Love your videos. Oh, nice. XR2i. That's a Fiesta, isn't it? That's a Fiesta XR2i. Flipping heck. I'll tell you what, it seems like only yesterday. And all these cars, are gone. You don't see them anymore. Very, very rarely. It's just mind-boggling. But anyway, Matthew, nice. Thanks for your comment. That's why me and Kev go to these car shows, because it brings back memories. And it's nice to see these cars again. You go to all these shows. Each different show, you see something different. Hi John, how are you? Good evening to you as well. What's that picture of? Looks like a nice lawned cut grass or something. Looks like a blooming scenic view of something. Anyway, John, thank you very much for stopping by. Hi Mark. Paul, well, probably because it never usually goes wrong. What's this? Oh, this is this vacuum pump. The vacuum pump runs constantly and is extremely noisy, even with the power on, only and engine off. I'm thinking the vacuum tube that has a brown connector has a valve in it controls on off the pump. Oh, I see. Yeah. I can't be much help on this one, so I'm going to have to skip by it because I've never actually come across this. So if I do, I'll sort of like pay a bit more attention to it. Mondo, GM dealer used to whiz them spark plugs out and new ones in dry with an air ratchet, early 90s. Bonus time. I'll tell you something, I wouldn't use an air ratchet on a spark plug. Flipping heck. Mind you, the engines I've got to take spark plugs out of generally are Duratec HE engines, petrols, 2 litres, 1800s. And if they're tightened in properly in the first place, they undo all right. I'll tell you something, I always use a half-inch bar and a big long half-inch extension bar on the spark plug socket because it's thick. The reason I use a thick bar is so that when you've got your long bar trying to undo the plug, if you were using a thin 3/8 bar, you can make it can twist. and if it snaps free, you can break the porcelain. And with a half-inch bar, that's not going to happen, because you're not going to be able to twist that half-inch extension bar, and you can get more leverage as well. But we had a case once where it was an apprentice. He was trying to undo a spark plug, and he broke the porcelain on the spark plug. Took the spark plug out, but of course the porcelain went down the cylinder. He didn't even know. So he started the engine up after he put the new plugs in, and then screwed the engine, done the bores in. So that's inexperience, because he's an apprentice. But these are the things that can happen. But when we're going back to this spark plug scenario problem, when you're taking spark plugs out, they're dodgy bloody things. And when I talk the video I done on Monica's car, the particular spark plugs that are in her car, they're called taper seat spark plugs, because you know, a lot of spark plugs will have a washer at the bottom of them to make the seal. Well, these spark plugs just have a little taper. That's why it's so important that you tighten them up properly, because if they're over tightened, and you can struggle getting them out, and if you snap them, you're in real big trouble then. So, and then taper seat spark plugs, like the old overhead valve engines, the HCS engines and all that, they were common for seizing in there. And we used to have this, it was like a tapered drill bit sort of thing. Well, not a drill bit, it's a bit like a punch. If the spark plug got snapped off, you'd get this tapered punch, and you would smash it into the spark plug with a hammer, and then get a socket on it, and you could undo the spark plug. A brilliant bit of kit they were. But unfortunately, on these more modern engines, you can't even get to the spark plugs. So you'd have to strip the bloody engine to get, if you make a mistake like that. Anyway, let me move on. Oh, flipping heck. Sharok. Sharok, I think. I hope I'm saying your name properly. Your videos about Mondeo Mark 5 helped me a lot here in Norway. Well, thank you very much. It's nice for you to say so, and thanks for joining the channel. Thanks for joining the live stream. Stick around. I'll be trying to make some more. I do intend to make more videos. When I get the time, I'll make it. I mean, I like making videos. It's like my hobby. So I like camera. It's not that just making the videos. I like cameras. I've got an interest in cameras. So when I'm not touching cars, I'm touching cameras. So I like cameras and lenses and all kinds of stuff like that. So that's why that's behind making the videos. Why I like doing it. So I've got to make videos on something, because I fix cars. It may as well be about cars. If I'm out in the woods, I'll have the camera in the woods walking around. Anyway, Sam, hi Sam. You've got a Peugeot 207 convertible, rear brakes failed the MOT with seized near side caliper, imbalance on handbrake. Took it to Bates Car and Commercial, who has a question for failing older cars. Has a reputation, what did I say? Question, has a reputation for failing older cars. Well, the problem is that a lot of these brake tests, they're all done on rolling roads, and the more modern ones, if they will fail them anyway if there's something wrong, because it's computerized. So, but yeah, I should think you'll probably need a new brake caliper or something like that. At least if that's all it failed on, it's not too bad, I guess. That's not going to cost a fortune. Marcel, hello. How are you doing? You got a cat there? Thanks for stopping by, Marcel. Mexis Humour. I will finally get my Mondeo tomorrow after 3 dark weeks in limping mode. Well, I hope they've fixed it, because you know something. We sometimes take cars to dealers and other places to get looked at where we can't do stuff. And you go and collect the car, you get back into it and drive away and find the problem still there. It's frustrating. But anyway, I hope they fixed it for you. I don't want to sort of like give you doubt. XX Keith from Kettering. How are you doing, Keith? Yeah, I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well too. Kettering, Wicksteed Park. That's a nice place. You know, whenever I go to Wicksteed, I like it there, but it always chucks it down with bloody rain. Do you know, I've been on that flipping train ride all the way around, and I don't know if they've still got them little carts that sort of like sit up on this big railing, and you've got to pedal them around this railing. I think they needed a bit of oiling because my flipping legs were killing me. That were hard work. But anyway, yeah, lovely little theme park there. I guess it's still going. I've not been there in years now. I should have gone this summer, actually. But anyway, Keith, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for joining the live. But Birdie Clips, hello. What is that on that thumbnail? I can't see it properly. It looks like some kind of, I don't know. My dad's Mark IV Mondeo has run from Carlisle to Manchester and back twice every week for 2 years. Flipping heck. But needs new injectors and rear suspension. The car has 200k on it. Should it be repaired or replaced? Well, if it's injectors, you'd probably just best replace them. I know that Euro Car Parts down here, they sell genuine injectors for less than what Ford are selling them for. So I'll be checking out, if you want injectors a bit cheaper, check out Euro Car Parts. And rear suspension, well, it depends what it needs. There isn't a great deal to go wrong on them cars, is there? You've got the springs, or I've had one case of where the lower arms that the springs sit in were rotted out. But apart from that, there's not a great deal, apart from your trailing arm, well, trailing arm bushes, anti-mobile drop links, and maybe the bottom arms rotting out. That's probably about it. Anyway, Birdie Clips. I haven't heard your name before, so you must be new here. Well, thanks anyway. Andy, hello. I was thinking of what you would do last night when I spent 35 minutes trying to wind back my near side rear caliper on my Caddy. Then it only took 3 minutes for the offside one. Bloody things. Nothing's easy. No, it's not. It's a case of once you've done it and you know how it all works, then it's easy. But first time round, it's a pain in the arse. I've been there a million times. Hello, sweetheart. Hello from the other side. Hopefully I'll be there in December. This is my beautiful lady Kenna from Kenna's farm. She's got ducks and chickens. She's going to have 1,000 chickens by December. And she's going to roast a pig when I get over there. You're going to put a spit through the pig and cook it. Anyway, darling, thanks for dropping by and sending a little message. Love you. Money. I only barter. I'm 16. I'm 16 when I was 6. When I was 6, my parents split, and my mum moved me to Carlisle, Cumbria, to a place near Manchester. After courts got involved, my dad was allowed to see me for 10 years. Okay. In-trade motor. Leaking diesel injector can cause oil rise dilution also. Yes, I've heard that, but that is not going to be the problem on the car I've got the problem with. I know that for a fact because the engine was changed and everything on the engine was new. This is before COVID kicked in. We got an engine that had, it was like a fire damaged car, and it had about 10,000 miles on it, and we got it cheap as well because engines were cheap before COVID. And this engine came with injectors, high pressure pump, wiring, the lot, everything was on it. The only thing that wasn't on it was the DPF. So I know it's not injectors, and I know it's not the high pressure fuel pump leaking. So I'm actually looking forward to finding out the bloody fault on this car, because it's doing my head in. But I'm getting to the point now where there isn't much more to actually change or go what route to go down. Even though I found a whole series of things wrong with this car that could have possibly caused the engine oil to rise. So, but everything I've done hasn't cured it. So now I went over the ECU change. I'll see, because the driver's gone back into the car today, so he's going to come back in a week's time and we're going to have a look at it. And fingers crossed. Stephen France, hi Stephen. Talk about I've got a Jonah. For anybody who doesn't know what a Jonah is, if you go back to Bible times, I believe it was Bible times, Jonah was someone on a ship and there was no wind and the ship weren't going nowhere, and they all put it down to this guy called Jonah. So they flung him overboard, and after they flung him overboard, the wind picked up and they all sailed off and lived happily ever after. That's why if you're called a Jonah, it means you were the bearer of bad luck. I think that's where that is where the term comes from anyway. So, God almighty, I need a drink. Camille, thank you, Ellen, for your work. Cheers. Well, thank you too, Camille. Alex, I got EGR deleted, DPF deleted, no cat, and remap, straight pipe from turbo to the back of a Mondeo. Yeah, and I'll tell you something, I bet your fuel consumption is much better now you've got no DPF. Yeah. If it's like that, and do you know what? That would probably, if you put that through a emissions test on the smoke test, that will probably still pass. Canal boating, hello. Hope you're keeping well and have plenty of videos in the pipeline. Do you know, they've slowed down a lot. It's finding time to do it, because it's so busy at work all the time. It's just non-stop. And it's like by the time the day's out, I've got no energy left to make any videos. But I am sort of like getting a few here and there. And then I've got Kevin. We go out every now and again and do a car show. So that's something. So if anything comes along and I do get the time, I'll tell you something. I don't generally tend to take my camera into work that much, but so more and more I'm tending to use my mobile phone, my iPhone 6S, which is a really old phone now, but the video on my old iPhone is, I think it's fairly good. So I just get the phone out when something comes along. So anything interesting, I will try and do a video on it. Anyway, Canal Boating, thank you for joining the live stream. Jürgen, hello, Sweden. How are you? Flipping heck. Sweden, do you know what? I'd love to go to some of these countries over there. I'd love to go to Sweden and the Netherlands, and I have been through Europe. That's some years back now, but it's sort of like I was on a lorry, so I never really got time to spend any time anywhere, if you know what I mean. But yeah, well, anyway, you live in a beautiful country, I'm sure, and thanks for stopping by. F1 and fun stuff. Hello. I have a Mark 5 Mondeo that sometimes makes a clacking noise on the motorway. Disappears after 10 seconds, but no one can find the issue. Only happens now. Didn't I see this question before? A clacking noise. If it's really rare, I mean, it's like, do you know what? You'd need to get it. You'd need to get it on the ramp and have somebody have a look underneath it and have a good old proper check around it and see if they can find anything. So I'm sure if you persevere, you'll find the problem at some point. But that's the trouble with noises like that only come and go occasionally. They can be a right flipping. You can spend hours or more trying to find these problems. Well, I hope you find it anyway. In New Zealand, it's illegal to delete emissions items. I think it's illegal over here as well, but people still do it. So yeah, if you delete your DPF, Bill Gates won't be none too happy, will he? Mark, hi Mark. I got a burnt at Clacton-on-Sea in '76. Oh, you got burnt at Clacton-on-Sea. That's somewhere I have been. Clacton, that's the is that the Pebbly Beach? I think it is. Clacton-on-Sea, flipping heck. Yeah, nice place. It's been it's been a long time since I've been there as well. I've been a few places this year, not far. I've been to like Skeggy and Lowestoft. That's all I've done this year. I'm not going to Hunstanton. I'm going to miss that one. I've had enough. Anyway, Mark, thanks for mentioning Clacton-on-Sea. But yeah, those who do remember the summer of '76, that was the year of the heat wave and the water drought and everything else that went with it. But this year, 2022, has dwarfed 1976. In fact, I cannot remember another summer that has been this. We've had like a heat wave spell for this long. I mean, it's just been like gone on and on and on, and it's been fantastic. I loved it. Do you know when it was 40 degrees outside nearly? I was like loving it. You'd go into Tesco's and go and like chill by the freezer section, and then when you come outside, it's like a wall of flipping heat hits you. And it was like great. Sloek, hello. Thanks to your video, I replaced successfully leaking EGR at my MRS Mondeo Mark 5. That's good. Do you know what? Them EGRs, they look a bit daunting, but once you've actually done one, they're not too bad. So, I mean, I remember first looking at them and thinking, flipping heck. But no, I can do them in next to no time now. They're so easy. But yeah, well done for doing that. And you've done it yourself. So, I mean, I bet you feel good about it. And you saved yourself some money as well. Can you imagine? Do you know what? I had I forgot to take his name. It was a guy called me up yesterday from, I think it's Harlow near London. He wanted to ask me a question. He's got a Mark 5 Mondeo, and one of his daytime running lights was out. And he said, "How much do you think it's going to cost? how much do you think this Ford garage in London's quoted him to change his daytime running light? When you consider the daytime running light bulb is around about £50, how much would the final bill be if they fitted that bulb? And you see, it was something like £278 to fit a daytime running light bulb. And I think, Jesus Christ. Do you know what? I didn't say to him, but I should have said to him, you know what, mate, you want to do? If you drive from Harlow up to Alconbury, I'll fit it in for 20 quid, okay? Then you can drive back. And then I'd have had it fitted in like 5 minutes flat. And he would have saved him. All it would have cost him was the fuel either way, which would have been a damn sight cheaper than taking it to the dealer. But yeah, I couldn't believe it when he said £278 to change a bulb. Now, we've got to take the bumper off. We've got to take the bumper off because, you know, so it's no big deal. You only drop it down at one corner. And of course, Halfords won't touch your bumpers because they'll be too scared of breaking your paintwork or damaging it. So, Marcus, thank you very much. Well, thank you too, Marcus, for joining the live stream. I had all the belts and engine checks over and all okay. Noise happens in right hand side wheel or engine bay. Yeah. Yes. You'd have to find yourself a good mechanic to actually go for a drive and see if you can hear it. That's all I can suggest, really. Without hearing it, it's not a lot you can really say about it. Ian, my Ford Transit 2021 automatic keeps jumping out of gear in 6 and have to stop and put it back into drive. Automatic keeps jumping out. I don't know. I don't really deal with automatics. But if it's jumping out of gear, I would ring up Midland Automatics in Kettering. The guy there is really good. He really knows what he's talking about. And that's all he does is automatics. Every time I've got an automatic gearbox issue, I ring him, and you know, most of the time he knows what to say. He's pricey, but he gets the job done and it's fixed. So that's who I'd call. Smoking Slow, hello. Been watching videos for a while now and love your charm. I didn't know I had any charm. A little bit of wit. Anyway, following the oil leak from hell video where you replaced the hockey sticks, oh yeah, on the rear seal, I attempted. Oh my God, you're brave. Bloody hell. It's a lot of work, isn't it? I mean, you can do it in the car. You ain't got to take the engine out. I just done it with the engine out because it was easier to film, but bloody hell, it's a flipping job, that is. You would have thought they could have made that easier, wouldn't you? But nah. What a pain in the arse that job is. So you attempted. So you've left us on a cliffhanger now because what's the outcome? Or are you still doing it? I will keep scrolling down and see if your name comes back. We've been through that one. Oh, it myself and did a bloody good job. Well explained. Oh, you got it done. Well done. I trust you've got no more oil leaks now. Yeah, they're a bit of a bad one. I'm going to mention something now because these bloody cars, you know, Peugeot. It's a Peugeot engine. Peugeot engines of old. I mean, to me, Peugeot engines leak oil. That's what they do. But I found another oil leak now, which, well, I haven't found it. We've had these oil leaks for ages now, but there's one oil leak I haven't actually put on YouTube on these Mark 5 Mondeos, which I'm going to put out tomorrow because I've had no end of cases now and I've never covered it, so I'm going to do it now. But the brake vacuum pump on these cars, they are starting to leak a lot. We've changed quite a lot of them now, to the point where I've got no spare vacuum pumps anymore. So I've had to find a source of new vacuum pumps because they're really expensive from Ford. But what's happening is the brake vacuum pump on these cars, they bolt to the engine with a gasket. It's not leaking from the gasket, it's perfectly fine. But where the brake vacuum pump has two halves and it's clamped together, it's screwed together with 4 little screws, there's a rubber O-ring inside this brake vacuum pump that goes flat over time with heat and all that, as rubber O-rings do. And then these vacuum pumps start to leak oil. They drip oil onto the thermostat, the top of the thermostat housing, and then it runs off the thermostat housing and down onto the gearbox and down the back of the engine. So it's just another oil leak to look out for. So after tomorrow, when I put this new video out, you can shine your torch underneath your vacuum pumps and on top of your thermostat housing. If you've got puddles of oil there, or it looks wet with oil, then you're probably going to need a new vacuum pump because it ain't going to get no better. And you might change something on these engines, thinking it's like the high pressure fuel pump that's leaking oil when it's not. So flipping oil leaks are a pain. It's like, but anyway, I'm gonna push this video out tomorrow so you can see what I'm talking about. Hi Paul. Manhunt. Woohoo! You know what? Where is my manhunt? Let me find it. I don't know what. I should dig that bloody video out, that DVD out. There it is. James Earl Cash. There he is with the shotgun. Best video game ever made. Well, maybe not. Maybe Grand Theft Auto was the best game ever made. But I'll tell you something. That is my second best game ever made. It is absolute, and I love the pig with the chainsaw near the end. That is, and also Getaway Black Monday. Brilliant. If you like driving cars, that's a good game to bloody play. And this one here, Dead Space, that is an excellent game. If you ever played that, you'll love it. The only thing is, Dead Space, they brought out Dead Space 2, which was just too much. It was just over the top, not worth it. But Dead Space 1, brilliant. Anyway, thank you, Paul. Do you know what? I've got a PlayStation 2 in my drawer upstairs. I don't even know if the bloody thing still works. One day, if I get really bored, I may well play this again because I think that game was just like hit the spot. Love it. Anyway, I better move on. Hi, Paul. Alan, turbo boost pipe had a slight tear on my way to Spain. I was in the south of France. Lucky you, in the south of France. We're about to endure Skegness. Anyway, let me carry on. At the time, anyways, on the way back, I was in Murcia when the engine on, anyways, it chucked. But did get it home. Yeah, you've got to be when the boost pipes get split, you're obviously not going to be getting the boost, and your DPF and exhaust and all that can fill up with soot. So when you change, and it could lead to your car going into limp mode or permanent limp mode. But if you catch it in time and put a new boost pipe on, you'll probably find it blows a shitload of smoke out the back where it's all been soot's been building up. and the exhaust, it needs a good run after that to give it a good clear out. But anyway, glad you made it back okay. Why no Becks? I don't drink no more. I can't afford to buy beer. I've got to pay the electric bill, all because of Boris Johnson and the previous administration pushing their green agenda. Now we're paying for all their green subsidies and renewables. We can't afford to pay the electric bill, but they're trying to blame Putin and the Ukraine war, when it's not really got a great deal to do with it. If they'd been energy independent in this flipping country to start with, they wouldn't have been in this situation right now, would they? But they lie. They lie. The BBC, they lie to us all the time. Let me just get a drink. No, but the truth of the matter is, I could go on for ages, but I used to smoke cigarettes. I gave up smoking. Then a little while after that, I started getting a drink, and then you find you sort of buying more drink. So I stopped drinking. I decided that no more drink. I'm not going to pay for it no more, and because I don't really need it. I'll have a drink at special occasions, things like that, but I'm not going to go out and buy bottles of JD and all that anymore. And I just sort of like try to live a better lifestyle now. Is what it comes down to. I just drink water, and I don't even drink tea or coffee anymore. You notice all them coffee shops that have sprung up all over the years, flipping Costa Costas and Starbucks and all that everywhere. And there's people that drink flipping coffee all day long, and it's expensive. But no, I gave it all up. So I do drink, if you know what I mean. I will drink. If someone gave me a bottle of JD or Southern Comfort or something, I would drink it. I would do the whole bottle. I've never been an alcoholic or nothing, but it's like I won't go out and buy it no more. So I just wait to Christmas till I get all the freebies, and then I'll make it last. That's why. Anyway, thank you, Paul. Colin. Hello, Colin. Can you repair more salvage cars? I do like a good smashed up car that you can sort of like put back together. Unfortunately, we've only got like rentals and taxis, and there's not that many cars get smashed up. But when they do get smashed up, I will jump on them and do it myself, because I like to do them. Anything that's been in a pram, I find it kind of interesting. So if anything comes along, I'll be on it. Don't you worry. So what's next? Jaden double X. Have an ECU or EGR problem, petrol Astra. Well, that's a lot of information. I think if you've got a problem, you need to scan it with your scan tool. Get the codes out of the ECU first and see what it's saying, and take it from there. Hi, Paul. It was a nightmare getting back home. Smoke everywhere. Car chucked it 10 miles from Calais at the toll booth. Both managed to get it started and booted it home. Repaired now. Nightmare. Yeah, it's pretty bad if you get a split boost hose. It goes downhill from there. It's not just a case of getting the split hose, is it? The repercussions after that. It's like now you know firsthand. The soot builds up and you get black smoke everywhere. So anyway, you got back safely. Your car's back in one piece and it's fixed. That's good. Colin, can you tell us how you... I don't have an empire. I just work at Steve's Taxis. I'm just a mechanic. So the only empire I've got is on YouTube videos. No, but I don't own the company or nothing. I just work there. So what? Hello HD. What is that hours? What hours do you work? Who sung that song 9 to 5? Was it Sheena Easton? Working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Well, I'm 8:30 till 5:30, so it's not far off. That's about it, 8:30 to 5:30. And then, well, that's the hours, but you can stay there if you like. You can get in at 6 in the morning if you like. You can stay all night if you like. Depends how much you want to work. You could do 24 hours round the clock if you wanted to there. Just keep on going. No one would notice. But yeah, my basic hours are 8:30 to 5:30. And believe me, by that time, by 5:30, I'm like, oh, I need to get home, well enough. Can a Mark 5 Mondeo clutch pedal be adjusted? No. Pedal has a weird, but at the end of the lift off. No, it can't be adjusted. It's set. There's nothing you can do with it. But there's one big return spring, and there's another little spring, which I think is a damper thing. But if you've got any kind of pedal problems, I would probably get a torch up there and have a good old look at the pedal, especially look where the master cylinder, it's a plastic rod that comes out the master cylinder and connects to the pedal. You want to check the piece on the pedal isn't getting loose, and you want to check the plastic rod that goes into the master cylinder isn't broken, because these things can break and go wrong, and the pedal will still be working fine. It'll just feel a bit funny. But it's the start of something a bit more serious. So you probably, if the pedal's not right, you're probably best looking into it. But you can't adjust it. Brian, see you on Friday. Well, thank you, Brian. I'll look forward to it. Bring it on. Come down. I'd put the kettle on, but we don't have a kettle anymore. But I can offer you a bottle of water. But yeah, if you're popping down, brilliant. Oh, flippy deck. Be nice to see you. I'm going to skip the next comment. I need help with a Mark IV Astra Estate. Anyone have any ideas on vids to watch? Yeah, just type in Mark IV Astra. What's wrong with it? Type into Google whatever the problem is, and I'm sure someone else. I'm sure there's about many other people got the same problem. Finn Hogan, hi Finn. How are you? I'm very good, Finn. How are you? My Mondeo Mark IV 2-litre diesel is currently on a ramp getting the dreaded trailing arms done. Oh, well, they ain't done them yet. We'd have had them done in 10 minutes flat. In fact, our tool broke. The threads went in it, but we've got another tool now, which is a little bit more of a ball ache to set up, but it does a good job. Yeah. In actual fact, it's been a while since I've done them trailing arm bushes. I used to do them all the time. But yeah. I hope they're not charging you too much. You know what some of these garages are like. Love the videos you and Kevin do at the car shows. Yeah, we like going to the car shows. It's a nice day out for us. It's better than sitting at home doing nothing. So the last one at Stanford, oh, that was fantastic, and what a beautiful day. And when the Lancaster bomber come flying over, do you know what? Me and Kevin were stood there. It was supposed to fly over at 2:30 in the afternoon, and we're waiting and waiting and waiting, and it never come over. And then we went further up to where there was a guy on a tannoy, and he said, "Oh, it's been delayed, and it's going to be sort of like 4 o'clock now." 3:30 or 4 o'clock. So that time come and went, and he still hadn't come over. And we were trying to think, where are we going to stand to sort of like get the best, because we had trees to our left and right, but from forward and behind, we had a good view so we could see for miles. But of course, it come out of the worst place possible. It come right out behind us over the trees. And it's, I just had the camera in my hand. I just had to sort of like wave the camera quickly in the air to try and get it. So from what I did get weren't too bad, but if it comes sort of like at a better angle, I'd have had more time to prepare myself. But that plane totally took us by surprise. But he done a whole sweep round and come over again, so that was a good thing. I think he come over 3 times all in all. So, but yeah, hearing that plane come over was bloody awesome. And the car show was absolutely fantastic. There were so many cars there. By the end of the day, we were walking around that much. We were both knackered. So, yeah, brilliant. John, hi John. Mark 5 ST line 2017 Mondeo 2-litre diesel with the water pump blown. I was surprised. Is that a common fault? Do you know? All is fixed now. Wife happy again. When you say the water pump blown, what do you mean? The impeller has snapped off it and not where it's just spinning and not doing anything, or do you mean it's been leaking? Because I've had both. I have them water pumps. The cam belt's supposed to last 125,000 miles. It's debatable whether the actual water pump will make it. I've had a lot of water pumps go at 60,000-70,000 miles. They'll start leaking water, and in other cases, I've had the impeller. It's a plastic impeller, and it spins on the shaft and doesn't actually circulate the water because it just comes loose. So yeah, they're an expensive water pump and they don't seem to last very well. For some reason, the Mark 4 Mondeos, the water pumps were never a problem. Only when they got on the Mark 5s they become a problem. Hi John. Once the Mondeo start to die out in the fleet of taxis, what sort of car would you go for to replace them? Well, I'm doing a time check. I'll have to sign out shortly. Do you know what? I really don't know, because although it says Steve's Taxis, it's not Steve's Taxis anymore. It's the taxis are owned by a public company now, based in Singapore, I believe. So it's not even the Steve's business anymore. But he's just the actual Steve who used to own the taxis. He has got the job of the managing director to run the taxis. So the company who actually owns the taxis are taking a profit, but they're having to pay Steve to run the place and keep the taxis maintained. It's all sort of like complicated. It's a long old story. One day, when it's all over, I will make a full-blown video on the whole scenario of this. But as far as what taxis will replace, I don't know at the minute. I really don't know which way this company's going and what's going to happen with the taxis. So all I know is at the minute they're getting more and more mileage on them. They're breaking down more and more. They're causing more and more problems. They're flinging more and more money at them because the mileage on these cars are getting really high now. So there's been no talk of new cars. So if I was to hazard a guess, if new cars were to be on the table, I should think there'd be some kind of Toyota hybrids or something like that. I'm really not sure at the minute. But if we ever get to that, I will let you know. Hi Stephen. Choose down for the bleeding clutch info Mark 4 Mondeo. Yeah, well, once you know how to bleed these things, it's the same as everything else, isn't it? Once you know how to do something, you can, well, it becomes easy, doesn't it? It's like, but if you don't know how to do things, you can be a right headache. But yeah, glad it worked out for you. The real Mahalo. I love your thumbnail. What will you recommend? Volvo V70 high mileage, 2015-ish, or Mondeo Mark 5 lower mileage? They are around the same price. Greetings, Marco. Then, do you know what? I can't give you an answer on that. But if it were me, I would go, regardless of anything, I would go for the car that I like the best, the car that I look at and I think I like the look of that car. Because whenever I've bought a vehicle in the past, I buy it for looks. I don't buy it for practicality. So it's whatever you can live with. But failing that, if you're just looking for practicality and you don't care what it looks like, get yourself in each car and take each one for a good test drive. And whatever one you prefer, I should think you can probably see the problems on the Mondeos, but once again, the Mondeo problems you're not going to get them to get over 100,000 miles. The Volvos are built very well anyway. I don't know about faults on Volvos, but I know Volvos have always been built well and they're tough old cars. So I'd probably have a drive in both, to be honest with you, and pick the one you prefer the best. I'm sure whichever one you go for, you ain't going to go far too wrong. Nigel, hi Nigel. Hope you're well. Yes, I'm well. Doing great. And thank you very much, Nigel. Thanks for joining the live stream. I'm about to end it shortly because time's cracking on. I can't handle the 3-hour long live streams. It's like, oh, it's hard. Sakil, hello, you're doing a good job. Thank you, Sakil. I'll just see if I can skip through a few of these. I haven't seen this one. Rapid Man, hello. People were collecting water from the spring on Spring Common in '76. Flipping it. Do you know what? Do you know what? That just sort of like, yes, they were, weren't they? Do you know what? I remember that. Bloody hell. I remember my parents telling me that. Collecting water from the spring in spring. Flipping Jesus, yeah. That's how bad it was. Obviously, angling water now, I've got more, you know, they're more prepared, I guess. Because although they were starting to put, do you know what? Even this year, we've had next to no rain. I know that, I think they've brought out hose pipe bans and all that. I'm not sure they have. I think they've just brought out like emails saying just be careful with the water and don't use too much. But I've not seen anything on the news. Well, I don't even watch TV, so I wouldn't know. But I haven't seen anything to say stop using hose pipes and all that. So for the limited amount of rain we've had this summer, the water supply hasn't done bad, if I must say. So, but yeah, you're dead right there. Well, thanks, Rapid Man. That brings back a memory or two. Just better say good night, Paul and Fiona. Thanks for stopping by and thanks for joining the live stream. I will see you in the next one, hopefully. Going up to your scratcher. That's what I used to say. I'm going up to my scratcher now. Nice one. Cheers. What have we got? Let's do this one. I'm going to have to call it a night in a minute. Gabriel Sorin Beldi. Focus 2005, 1.6 petrol, manual, 270,000 kilometers. Car rattles, rumbles, and I accelerate from a standstill. I personally changed the clutch, I did it with care and screws tightened to torque. Cheers. Sounds like a drive shaft issue, if you ask me. Unless you've got an engine on the way out. No, it's one of them things, you have to hear it. But a lot of drive shafts, if the drive shafts are worn out, they can make the car shudder and all sorts when you accelerate. So I'd be looking at your drive shafts first, or get a good mechanic to listen to it and drive it and see what he thinks. Crispy, yes. Manhunt. Right, I'm going to have to, because there's, do you know what? I'm actually not far off the end of this. Govinda, hello. I had retracted my earlier message because it was too long. It was to get some advice on my C-Max problems. Replaced alternator, starter check okay, car doesn't start. Well, when you say it doesn't start, does it turn over? Does it make a click? Does it do nothing when you turn the key? I used to have the Mondeos, Mark IV Mondeos. We had a number of cases where the cars wouldn't start; they wouldn't do anything. It was like the starter motor was dead. And on quite a few cases, it was the earth lead that bolts onto the engine mount, where the gearbox mount was a bad connection. It looked okay, but when you unbolted it, it weren't making a good connection. And you have to clean the earth lead up and put it back on and then start. So the trouble with a lot of these cars, there's so many electrics too. I mean, there could be a lot of things. And also the battery leads in a lot of these cars, there'll be like a fusible link in some. There's like a little block that comes off your battery lead. There's a fuse in there that can blow. So there's so many things to look at. So you really need to see the car and start going through it step by step. And I'll tell you something. We had this flipping. I think I've gone through this before. This Peugeot 1007 that we had on our sales lot. The car was sold, and the woman got in the car, drove it down the road to the nearest petrol station, and then she rang up and said, I'm at the petrol station, my car won't start. So we got the car recovered, and I couldn't, there was no codes in the ECU or nothing, but there was no spark to the spark plugs coming out of the coil packs, and it was one solid coil pack, but there was live to the coil pack and that. So I thought, well, I didn't know what to do about it. So I sent the ECU, the key, and the body control module off to ECU testing, or AC Tronics, one of the two, to get them checked out. And they phoned up and said, well, there's no chip. There's no chip in the key to make it start. So I thought, well, what the hell? There must have been a chip in the key when he sold the car. And we're kind of, so we got the Panther locksmiths out to look at it. He supplied another key with a chip in it and coded it all in, but it wouldn't work. So it bewildered. Eventually, we sent it to Marshall Peugeot in Peterborough to get them to have a look at it. They supplied a new key, and it worked. It's all working again. I'm sorry, when the Panther came out, he supplied a key. The car started because it had a chip in it. So the original key, the chip had mysteriously disappeared. So we think the woman had dropped the bloody key on the ground, possibly. I can't see how the chip, that little transponder chip that makes the engine start, disappeared out the key, but it did. So when the mobile key guy came out, supplied a new key with a new chip in it, the car started and ran, but the 4 buttons on the key fob didn't work. Couldn't get them working no matter what we'd done. So when we sent the car to Marshall's in Peterborough, they supplied another new key, programmed it in. Maybe the key we got, there was something wrong with it. The new key we got was something wrong with it. But they supplied a new key, programmed it in, and now the car ran perfectly and all the buttons work, because them cars have like electric doors that slide out and out back like that. So it all had to be working again. Yeah, it was such a headache. We had the car for about 3 or 4 weeks, sat there while we're poncing around a bit. But anyway, it all got sorted out. These strange things happen. But yeah, you'll have to get your car looked at, and someone who knows what they're looking at to go through it bit by bit, because it's like there could be a relay, there could be a fuse. It's like you're going to have to get someone who's to actually start checking things. Is there a live down to the starter motor? Is there a main feed from the battery to the starter motor? Is there a, when you turn the key, is there a feed wire that goes live to the starter motor solenoid? There's a few checks you can go through to start with, and sort of like put you on the way to find out what the problem is. Dolly Parton 925. I'd have to look at that one. I thought it was Sheena Easton. It could be Dolly Parton. Right, anyway. What's this one? I'm gonna... Ronnie Barker, open all hours. My hours are 8 till 5:30. That's a good one. Do you all remember that TV show, Open All Hours? The been classic. You have kettle. It's behind. I don't drink tea. I don't even. Do you know what? I don't even boil a kettle anymore. The only tea I'll drink is probably one of them sachets of that ginger tea. It's like ginger and honey. What's this? 80p a boil. I wouldn't use it. Yeah, I know. It's getting flipping bad over here, isn't it? This is why I don't watch the bloody lying BBC anymore, because everything that comes out of their mouths is dog shit. The only news I listen to now is independent creators on YouTube. Claren Murphy, hello. Good to see you, Vince. Enjoying them. Keep up. Yeah, thank you, Claren. And thanks for stopping by and joining the live stream, even though I'm about to end it now. Yeah. Thanks, Anthony, and good night to you as well. Volvo made by FOMO Co. I think they share the same engine, which is made by Peugeot. Pastamon, hello, how are you? How's things going? They're going great. Well, they're just about to end, just about to retire tonight now. Going out to my scratcher in a minute. I'm just getting to the last few comments. Keith, hi Keith. A Sanga, depending on year of C-Max, if it's 2020 or older, first thing to do with random electrical issues is to get the speedo clocks tested for dry. That's a very good point. We've had quite a few of them. In actual fact, you might have hit the nail on the head there, because when the instrument packs and on Focuses at least, and probably C-Max as well, because all sort of the same thing, they have chronic problems with the instrument packs, and they're all tied in the immobilizer as well. So you could well get the case where the instrument pack's faulty and it will stop your car from starting. You'll turn the key and there'll be nothing there, won't do anything. So if you go to ECU testing website, check out your car where it says Focus under instrument packs and that. They'll have a write-up of the common faults. If you look it up, then if your fault falls in line, you can send your instrument pack off to ECU test and they'll fix it. Tim, £1. Well, thank you very much. I might buy a bottle of orange juice for that. Thank you, Tim. That's very nice of you. Brilliant. I'll share it with Monica. I'll tell you what. I'll buy her a macchiato. That's what it will go on. And maybe I'll take a little clip, little photo, so we can put it on the next video, on the next live stream. That's where your money's gone. It's gone to a good cause. Thank you very much. Right, I'm going to call it a night, guys. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by and joining this live stream. I know it's been a while. I keep saying this. I try to put more out. I will try. So anyway, gotta go. Thanks, everybody, once again. See you all in the next one, guys. Stay safe out there. Don't worry about the COVID. Just stay safe. See yas.